Hey y'all, I hope you're doing well. Much like y'all, I lead sometimes a crazy life, and today I got rained on, and I had some meetings this afternoon, and so not had a chance to shower this afternoon. And here I am working at about 11 o'clock tonight. I've got kids sleeping upstairs and family members sleeping downstairs. If you remember, we're living with family right now, so bear with me. You're probably going to hear some bugs in the background and everything else, but it's okay. We're going to roll with it. So first of all, I just want to tell you how appreciative I am of how hard you worked on your eulogy essays. Many of you, I could see growth from just the rough draft to that final copy. And I saw that you were really thinking about your life and what did you want said at your funeral on the last days of your life when you consider those 80 plus years. And that's huge. You're learning how to think about yourself critically, and you're learning to examine things outside of yourself, and you're learning how to communicate about that. That shows tremendous effort, tremendous growth. I mean, it's something you should be proud of. So, congratulations for that. Um, this week, what we're going to do is we're going to review kind of what problem areas that I saw on those eulogy essays. And my hope for you guys is that in talking about some of our struggles with those eulogies, that we can take that as we move forward and we complete your profile essays. So let's talk about reflection and what does reflection mean. Okay, reflection is after we've completed a piece of writing, we go back and we ask ourselves, okay, what did I do right? What could I have done better? And how does this knowledge then help me grow? I mean, that's what we're going to be doing this week. After I review some things that I want to go over, and I'm going to show you an example of a student who made an A this week. And we're going to talk about what she did well and just some of the things that I saw in her essay that really stood out to me to help you get a better understanding of what an A level essay looks like for English 111. And then I want you to take some time and reflect on that. I want you to go back and look at the comments I left. Go back from your final copy to your draft and ask yourself, where did I really grow? What could I have done differently? Where did Mrs. Dupree leave comments that I really didn't make changes and I should have considered those ideas more? That's true reflection. So, as we're talking about these things in the lecture, take notes. Take the time to write some of this stuff down and reflect as we're talking through and having a conversation about this. And then we're going to practice reflection this week in one of your homework assignments. So, the first thing that I want to talk to you about are your thesis statements in your eulogies. Some of you really missed this. And let's go back to what a thesis statement is. Now, a thesis statement is your main idea or message. It is what you want your reader to know and understand when they complete their read of your essay. Some of you gave these really good quotes, okay, these really strong direct quotes. Some of you gave a little bit of life background information, but one to two clear, concise sentences about the real message you wanted to share. That was missing for some of you. So I want to make it abundantly clear your thesis cannot be forgotten. That is what paves the road for a strong essay. Secondly, it must be in your introduction. And third, it needs to be towards the end of your introduction. Think about it this way: if you are standing beside someone's bedside, what's the thing you're going to remember the most? It's the last thing they said. That should ring in your ears when you think about your placement for your thesis statement. It needs to be the last thing in that introduction before the reader really jumps into the grit of your essay. Topic sentences. Now, you'll remember your topic sentences are the first sentence in your body paragraphs. So, at minimum, you should have three of these, right? When you think about a 5 paragraph essay, and I really don't want you to get stuck on that because many essays will have 10 paragraphs, 20 paragraphs. If you get into graduate school at some level, you might have essays with pages and pages and pages, up to 100 pages of work. Your topic sentences are your first sentences of your body paragraph. And kind of in the same sense of a thesis, your topic sentences guide the way for that body paragraph. Some of you are beginning your body paragraphs with an explanation. You're jumping into an explanation instead of really examining the topic. So, for example, let's say your body paragraph had something to do with compassion. Okay. Maybe you began the body paragraph by saying, one day, Logan, dot, dot, dot. And what that does is you're beginning your paragraph with an explanation instead of using a bold, articulate statement like Logan Dupree was one of the most compassionate people in her community. All right, that gives a topic, which then leads to the greater explanation. You have room and space to prove that that idea is true and that it exists. The next thing I want to talk to you about is your conclusion. Now, remember, your conclusion is your final paragraph in your essay. A lot of you did really well. You had really creative and nuanced ideas for your conclusion. I could tell you were wrapping up the eulogy. However, a lot of you really forgot to restate your thesis. Guys, this is super important. Again, when you think about the most important thing you're going to share with your readers, it is that thesis statement. And so you want to make sure that you're driving that idea home, that you're going back and you're making sure that they understand the greater message of the essay. Repetitive phrasing or fluff. I'm going to contradict probably something that you've heard a lot in your writing classes. More is not always better. I'm going to repeat that one more time. More is not always better. There's a lot to be said about concise and clear ideas. You do not necessarily have to create long, complex sentences. Think about your audience. Think about what you're trying to say and say it. When you are creating your sentences, after you've created a body paragraph, read it out loud to yourself and ask yourself, does the sentence sound right? Is it pleasing to the ear? If I read it silently, is it pleasing to my mind? Have a friend or a family member read it out loud to you so you can hear what it sounds like from another perspective. This will help you create more sound sentences that are structured and that really have better clarity. Another thing that I want to cover is vague wording or phrasing. I like to tell my students, I call these words cuss words. Eliminate words like things, it, that, and stuff. Guys, these are words that can always be replaced. They don't give the reader clarity. They don't give them direction. They don't execute what you're trying to say. Use action words. Use clear language. Don't say she liked it. Tell me what she liked. Don't say she was good at it. Tell me what she was good at. Don't say she really liked to enjoy the little things in life. Instead, say she really liked to enjoy life's best moments. Give your words meaning, depth, and clarity. Fragments and splices. Guys, this goes back to sentence structures. Really make sure that each sentence, I'm going to give you a couple examples here, that each sentence is complete and full. Using one-worded sentences like peaceful. That's a fragment. It's not a complete thought. Okay. Instead, say, she was a peaceful human being. Okay. Splices are when you throw commas in places where a period or a comma and a conjunction belong. So she went to the park. She went to the mall. Okay. What you've done there is you've stuck a sentence in between two complete thoughts. She went to the park and then She went to the mall. Or she went to the park. She went to the mall. Now, again, of course, there's probably better ways you could structure even that sentence. But the point that I'm saying is read your ideas aloud and ask yourself, is this a complete thought? If it is, and it's attached to another complete thought, you cannot simply just stick a comma in between those things. Finally, just getting to the small nitty gritty parts of this conversation, read your work aloud. Guys, I cannot express this idea to you enough. The best way for you to catch your own mistakes is to read your work aloud. A lot of you let some small mistakes go that truly, if someone would have been reading out loud to you, or if you would have been reading aloud to yourself, you would have caught missing words, too many words, repetitive phrasing, run on sentences that needed some punctuation, fragmented sentences. Read your work aloud. By the time you submit that paper, you should have read that work at least 10 times. And at least 3 or 4 of those should be aloud to yourself, or even better, someone else reading it to you. And then finally, my last thing that I'm going to touch on is the writing center. If you are someone who naturally struggles with sentence structures, comma splices, fragments, developing strong topic sentences, giving really strong explanations, visit the writing center, guys. I'm going to link that to this week's folder just to remind you about where you can find that tool at Gaston's website. And just so you know, if you visit the Writing Center on your profile essay, I'm going to give you an additional 5 points on your final work. If you have any questions about these concepts, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. The next thing that we are going to do is go over an example of an A-level eulogy essay.